upon the first Affirmative speaker, Thomas Tam.
Good evening, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for our debate tonight is that the Royal Adelaide Show has lost its wonder. We, the Affirmative team, define the Royal Adelaide Show as an annual agricultural show run by the Royal Agricultural and Horticultural Society of South Australia. We define lost as no longer present for the majority of people, and define wonder as, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, as a feeling of amazement or awe caused by something beautiful, remarkable, or unfamiliar. We, the Affirmative team, believe that this statement is true. Today's first speaker, I'll be talking to you about how the ever-increasing costs of not just the entry, but also the rides, food, and show bags does not create a sense of wonder or beauty for the vast majority of people attending the show, but rather a sense of wondering if they'll make it out with anything in their wallets. Not only this, there are also many other shows in Australia with arguably superior rides or country fairs which have a larger range of livestock or animals being exhibited. Our second speaker will be speaking about how heightened security precautions and checkpoints inside the Royal Adelaide Show destroy any sense of wonder, replacing it instead with a reality check, reminding people of the danger they're exposed to whilst attending the show. He will also inform you about the risks and the death and injuries which recently occurred there. Our third speaker will rebut and sum up our team's case. The Royal Adelaide Show began in 1840, and for 169 years it has been an annual event. In 1840, Australia was a very young state, just 4 years old. The Royal Adelaide Show was the only agricultural show available then, and they held competitions for everything from blacksmithing to egg laying. Now, there are numerous other agricultural or country fairs and theme parks that are arguably superior, such as the Fringe, the Beach House in Glenelg, or Mega Adventure Park. The Royal Adelaide Show used to be one of the only attractions in Adelaide, but this has changed with the times. Other shows and attractions are open all year round, taking the thrill and wonder away from the Royal Adelaide Show. When fireworks were first introduced to the show, it was very new, previously unseen by many of the attendees of the show. However, now in 2017, fireworks are being used very regularly for country shows, pageants, and even for school fairs. Many of the rides and shows are also featured at other fairs and festivals. The novelty and exclusivity of the fireworks, rides, shows has been lost, and along with it, the wonder. My second point is the fact that the costs to attend the show are at an all-time high. To merely enter the show, the gate prices for concessions and students is $21, whilst in 1840 it was free to enter. In 1864 this changed, and they began charging £1 fees, which entitled the attendee to any ride or attraction within the premise. This £1, even when exchange and inflation rates are applied, is still worth less than 21 Australian dollars. Now, the Adelaide Show charges even more to enter, and it does not include any other entitlements. The average Australian family has 2 children, and just to merely enter, it would cost $63. Any additional toys, food, drinks, or rides would cost extra. 1 in 5 families at the show, who were surveyed by Adelaide Now, spent over $100 just on show bags, and 87% of the people surveyed thought that they were overpriced. In a survey by ABC, the average ride in 2016 cost an average of $10 to $12, and the average number of rides taken was 2. However, 34 of the 100 people interviewed had attended 8 rides. In the same survey, it was found that the families attending the show spent a grand total of $200 inside on food, rides, and show bags, while some spent up to $635. This once cheap family fair has been transformed into a money-making machine. Any sense of wonder and amazement that the Adelaide Show once held has been eliminated by these expenses. So, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, we the Affirmative team believe that the Royal Adelaide Show has lost its wonder, not only because the show is very expensive to attend, but the fact that there are now numerous other attractions to visit that are open all year round, many of which possess larger rides and a superior range of animals or livestock on display. The Royal Adelaide Show has lost its wonder because it is no longer beautiful, unfamiliar, nor remarkable. Thank you.
I call upon the first negative speaker, Jas Matharu.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for our debate is that the Royal Adelaide Show has lost its wonder. We agree with the definition given by the affirmative team. However, we, the negative team, believe that this statement is false. Today, as the first speaker, I'll be talking to you about the show, its history, and its recent developments. My second point is about the changes in perception over time, which is normal. Our second speaker will be talking about two more points, including that there are so many things to do and that the show is a wonderful place to socialize. Our third speaker will rebut and sum up our team case. The first speaker has tried to tell you that the cost is too high for the Royal Adelaide Show. This is wrong because the cost doesn't really matter compared to the fun and the wonder in Royal Adelaide Show, and it hasn't increased a bit. He also said that that people have more options to go to and there are better options than Royal Adelaide Show. This is wrong because there are more than 31,000 competitive agriculture entries this year, and according to 7 News Adelaide, thousands turned out for their annual fix even in wet conditions yesterday. You can see the quantum of enthusiasm among the people for the show. I will be discussing 2 points. My first point is about the show, its history, and recent developments. The Royal Adelaide Show is the longest running festival in South Australia. More than 29% of the state's population visit the show every year, so that's around 580,000 people going to the Royal Adelaide Show. It started 178 years ago in October 1843. In 1867, Prince Alfred, the Duke of Edinburgh, also attended the show. 242 shows is a world record for most consecutive royal shows. So why are we still discussing if the Royal Adelaide Show has lost its wonder? The Royal Adelaide Show General Manager Michelle Hawking says that there are 60 competitions to participate in, each attracting 2,000 entries each. Hearing this, don't you think that the Adelaide Show hasn't lost its wonder? Now to my second point. My second point is about the changes in perception of people over time. Ladies and gentlemen, I think that you will agree with me on this. When they are young, it is natural that children prefer going to the rides and going home with arms full of show bags. As people grow up, they don't always want to repeat experiences and tastes, but will prefer to seek out new experiences. If one does the same thing year in and year out, of course, there is a risk of sense of awe and wonder diminishing. But as children become adolescents, and adolescents become adults, they are each year drawn towards different experiences. People's attention might move from the show pavilions and sideshow alley towards the exhibition halls and arenas, seeking new thrills, new knowledge, new experiences, and making new friends. So, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, we would like to say that the Royal Adelaide Show hasn't lost its wonder. Thank you.
I call upon the second affirmative speaker, Jasper Dew.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, Madam Chairman. The topic for our debate is that the Royal Adelaide Show has lost its wonder. We, the affirmative team, strongly believe that this statement is undeniably true. Before I get into my points, I would like to point out some flaws in the opposing first negative speaker's argument. He has first tried to convince you that recent developments and the history have made the show wondrous. He has stated that the nobles have come to the show in the first openings of the show, and my rebuttal to that is, are they coming this year? Are they coming to see the wonder of the show this year? They came in the first year when it was a new thing, but are they coming this year to see how everything has changed? They've also attempted to tell you that the changes in perception of people over time have led to the Royal Adelaide Show still being wondrous. This is invalid because, according to figures from the Royal Adelaide Show website, children under 18s make up a mere 2.6% of the whole attendance of the Royal Adelaide Show. For the majority of people, these expensive and dangerous rides are not worth it. Today, as second speaker, I'll be talking to you about 2 points. Firstly, the increased security and safety precautions have destroyed the sense of wonder that the Royal Adelaide Show had. Global terror has had a very big impact on the sporting and carnival events all over the world, and the Royal Adelaide Show, where over 500,000 people are expected to turn up this year, is no exception. As reported by ABC News, 2017 will mark the first year where security will be poking and prodding through people's bags and using metal detectors to ensure that no dangerous objects get through. Along with this, concrete barriers will be strategically placed around entrances to stop vehicle rammings, like the London Bridge attack earlier this year. Flowers will be added on top of these in an attempt to disguise the real purpose of the blocks. When families enter the gates of the show, wonder is replaced by fear and a reality check, as their bags are searched and selected people are scanned, giving out the sense that this is no longer just an event for the family. While this may give many people a sense of safety, it destroys the sense of magic and wonder that the Royal Adelaide Show has brought to families for over 150 years. My second point is that concerns about the safety of rides has destroyed the wonder of the Royal Adelaide Show. Many people love the feeling of flying through the air, whizzing above the crowds at the Royal Adelaide Show. With around 45 rides in this year's show, there is plenty to choose from. But the safety of these rides remains a significant and a real concern, with the horrific death of Adeline Leong in 2015 still fresh in everyone's minds. The 8-year-old was flung off the Air Max 360 and died of critical injuries later that day. There have also been other horrific ride accidents in Australia. In 2000, a carriage from the Spin Doctor ride at the Royal Adelaide Show collapsed, injuring 37 people. In 1979, at the Luna Park Ghost Train, the fire killed 6 people and 1 adult. In April this year, a boy suffered critical head injuries at a Victorian carnival after slipping out of his seat. And the Thunder River Rapids accident at Dreamworld in 2016 killed 4 people. The extensive media coverage of such incidents terrifies parents and children alike, rather than instilling wonder in them. Unfortunately, with more exposure to the media than ever before, we are aware of the recent and historical accidents involving carnival rides. This has resulted in the loss of magical wonder, which has been replaced with people wondering if they'll get off the ride alive. Wonder has most certainly been substituted with fear, apprehension, and anxiety as you are buckled into your seat. And this isn't the type of apprehension or nervous jitters you get as you dig your nails into the handrest on the Alibaba as the ride reaches its maximum height. It's a feeling of knowing well the fact that people have died while seeking the thrill of spinning through the air on a ride just like the one you were seated on. So, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, I hope I have convinced you that the Royal Adelaide Show has definitely lost its wonder.
I now call upon the second native speaker, Hede Patel.
Good afternoon, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for our debate is that the Royal Adelaide Show has lost its wonder. We, as the negative team, firmly believe that this statement is false. The second affirmative speaker has tried to tell you that the rides are dangerous. This is wrong because they are not dangerous, as there are so many safety regulations in place. You are more likely to die driving here than on rides at the Royal Adelaide Show. The girl who died was 1 in a million. This does not happen regularly. Also, apprehension on the rides is because of the scariness, not the danger. Our first speaker has already stated that the show is always changing, giving it new wonders for the growing crowds to look forward to. And that as you grow, the perception of wonder changes, giving you new things to look forward to. Today, I will be talking to you about 2 points. My first point is that our school alone has lots of input on the show, which brings something new each time. There are many teams that Westminster School alone has entered into the show this year, including many agricultural teams, Red Dove Cafe helpers, and F1 in schools, which I'm a part of. Our agricultural teams enter our farm animals into the competition of the show, which creates plenty of crowds each year. Since 1951, the Red Dove Cafe has operated at the Royal Adelaide Show. Over 65 years plus, the volunteer-run cafe has raised millions of dollars, supporting various Christian projects in the South Australian community. Funds raised at the cafe are spent on projects within SA, giving support to people with complex needs and with a focus on those who are most marginalised. In 2016 alone, the cafe raised $40,000 for charity. Similarly, many other charities in the Royal Adelaide Show raise huge amounts of funds, bringing wonder and excitement to those less fortunate people who receive the funds. The Royal Adelaide Show also hosts the F1 in Schools competition for South Australia. It is a STEM-based competition run worldwide in over 40 different countries and over 20 million competitors. The aim is to design and manufacture a model F1 car out of model foam, powered with a carbon dioxide cylinder. The challenge inspires students to use IT to learn about physics, aerodynamics, design, manufacture, branding, graphics, sponsorship, marketing, and apply them in a practical, imaginative, competitive, and exciting way. The winners of this worldwide competition are offered online courses in aerodynamics and manufacturing by the real F1 motorsport industry. And if they finish that course, they get design positions in some of the top F1 teams in the world, like Ferrari. After hearing all of this, do you really think the show has lost its wonder? If anything, it has gained wonder, not lost it. My second and final point is that the Royal Adelaide Show is a place to socialise. For example, if you were a primary school student, you would probably meet up at the show with all your friends and walk around buying show bags with your parents and going on the rides. And if you were an elderly person, you would feel free and happy to leave your nursing home with other friends and spend a day at the show eating gourmet baked goods and talking about the good old days. As you can see, lots of people get wonder in socialising in events like these. So, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, we as a negative team strongly believe that the Royal Adelaide Show has not lost its wonder, as there are so many things to do, and it serves as a social hub for friends and family. Thank you.
I call upon the third affirmative speaker, Emily Smith.
Good evening, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for our debate is that the Royal Adelaide Show has lost its wonder. We, the affirmative team, believe that this statement is true. The first negative speaker has tried to state that the cost is worth it for the fun and wonder. This is incorrect because the full access pass at Luna Park costs $22, and that includes unlimited rides and entry to the park. The Luna Park rides are a lot more professional, and most people will find them funner and more wondrous. For unlimited rides and entry, just for $22, that's a lot less than the money a person or a family has to spend to buy entry to the show bags, and extra money on top for rides, just so they can go to a few rides at the show. They also said that there are many people attending the show, and this is a good thing. However, that may not be necessarily a good thing. This leads to overcrowding, larger lines for rides, and disappointment with the loss of wonder. According to Westman and Walters from the University of Wisconsin, lots of noise can cause stress for the person hearing it, and when you have 50,000 people on one given day, that can lead to a lot of noise and subsequently stress, particularly when parents are trying to manage wild children, not spend too much money, and navigate through the crowds. Stress is just going to be enhanced, making the day more frustrating than wondrous. The second negative speaker tried to say that the Westminster School are doing great things at the show. This is false because even though they are doing great things with charity and great projects, this does not bring wonder to the actual Royal Adelaide Show. The proceeds are going to a great cause, but that doesn't bring wonder to the actual show and the people attending it. It simply brings wonders to the people who need it afterwards. They also said that these accidents are just one-off small events. However, these accidents have happened. People have died. They cannot be ignored. Our second speaker has already stated that a death on the ride has happened once every year for the last 3 years. These rides are not getting safer. Our first speaker explained that the increasing cost of the Royal Adelaide Show, which includes the show bags, rides, food and entry, does not create wonder, but instead a loss of money from families who believe that the Royal Adelaide Show costs too much. Compared to its humble beginnings as a free show with no entry fee, it is now merely an overpriced money-making machine. He also spoke how there are now, unlike 1840, other events and attractions that families can enjoy. We have the Fringe, which has many performers and shows that families and people of all ages can enjoy. Often, going and viewing a show can be funner, more entertaining, and better value for money than going to the Royal Show. Our second speaker talked about how increasing fear from terrorists and other attackers to the public, high security at the Royal Adelaide Show is removing a sense of wonder and instead increasing fear. Never before has every visitor been made to have their bag checked, walk through a metal detector, but now in 2017 we introduce these tactics which increase fear. It's hard to experience wonder when you have constant fear lingering over your head. He also discussed that the rides may be unsafe, even leading to death, which doesn't include a sense of wonder within showgoers. The behaviour of the operators of these unsafe rides is also appalling. Operators of the ride that killed Adeline Leong in 2015 were reportedly on their phones while people were loading onto the ride, and even when the ride was moving. That is just bad conduct, especially as they are most likely to be paid to watch over the ride and ensure the safety of passengers. So, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, in conclusion, there has been a great loss of wonder at the Royal Adelaide Show, with overpricing leading to exhausted parents wondering where their money has gone. There are many better places that people can go, which can be more cost-effective and funner. Some of the rides can be plain unsafe, leading to deaths, rising risks from terrorists, and added security leads to a sense of fear instead of this.
I call upon a third negative speaker, Matt Vick, host of the school.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for our debate is that the Royal Adelaide Show has lost its wonder. We, the negative team, have strongly argued that this statement is false. The first speaker has tried to tell you the increased cost of the Royal Adelaide Show. While it has increased, it only has increased by a couple of dollars, $5 at max in some places. And he also said that some people spend over $630 at the show. That's some people. I was at the show this morning and a ride, maximally, cost $15. And this is first-hand experience. And most rides cost $10. That's 60 free rides. Adding to that, this is a lot of money. $350,000 is going to communities and charities. That money is going to good places. It also says that there are many other shows with superior rides. No other place has that many rides. No other place has that many animals. No other place has that many performances than the Royal Adelaide Show, all in one place. The second speaker has tried to tell you that the recent developments have made the show. Well, have they made it any better? No. The second affirmative speaker has tried to tell you about how dangerous the rides are. Okay, so the third speaker has told you that one person dies from rides each year. Now, more people die from sharks each year. That means more people die from coconuts than these rides. Do coconuts seem dangerous? Not really. Well, then why do the rides are they saying so dangerous? They also said about prodding and checking people's bags, and that loses the wonder. That's 30 seconds. You can't really losing it. That's just 30 seconds of the experience. You're spending hours there, and these 30 seconds, yeah, you might get prodded, but that's not too bad. The second speaker also compared the Royal Adelaide Show to Luna Park and Victorian Dreamwood, saying how they have had safety mark functions. That's a completely different show. We're talking about the Adelaide Show, not some other rides, not some other places. We're talking about the Adelaide Show. The third speaker has tried to tell you that places like Luna Park are more professional and funner. There is no evidence backing this whatsoever. He also said that these involvements with the school do not bring wonder. Well, when you go up to the Red Dove Cafe and buy something, you know that you've just supported many projects and many charities. You know that this whole event is really helping the community. Adding to that, the Fringe, he said, has more performances. Well, the Adelaide Show isn't exactly about performances, it's about the whole experience. It's about all the rides, it's about all the showbacks. So, our first speaker has related wonderful facts about the rich history and more recent developments of the Adelaide Show. Over 29% of SA go to the show, which equates to over 500,000 people. In the very beginning, the show made £150, which if you account for inflation is around £15,000. Now in 2016, it made over $2 million. Keep in mind that $350,000 was given to charities and community groups. This shows just how far it has progressed. He also said that the show is not losing wonder, but us losing wonder in the show, and that it's more of a perspective thing. And as you get older, you start to see the realism in more and more things. And what once we thought was magic was just a contraption. That doesn't mean the show has lost its wonder, as the young generation of kids still believe this magic, and it's still wonderful. Our second speaker has talked to you about the school's involvement with agricultural teams and all this F1. This is so amazing. 17,000 people involved in all of this. That's just so many people. And all these exciting skills, it brings so much more. Now we have every day, or for Monday and today, there was races going on every single hour. Minute, 15 minutes. So, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, to summarize our case, due to great progression and obvious attendance